The day I watched my fiancé burn everything to the ground. My name's Adam Riley, and not too long ago, I thought my life was locked in, steady, solid, and right on track. Vanessa and I were 4 months out from the wedding. The venue was booked, the invitations were designed, and we just paid double for the catering after the company conveniently raised their prices, knowing full well we were too deep into the planning to back out. Still, I wasn't bothered. That morning I'd closed a major contract at work, the kind of deal that didn't just come with a fat commission check. It came with a bonus large enough to fund a honeymoon and then some. I was in such a good mood I left work early. My plan was simple: swing by her favorite bakery, grab the strawberry tarts she loved, and surprise her. I was going to tell her I'd cleared my calendar for a weekend getaway. Just the two of us. She'd been stressed with the wedding chaos. Thought she deserved a break. When I pulled into the driveway around 3:15 p.m., I noticed a familiar car parked 2 houses down. Eli and I had been best friends since we were 16. He was that friend, the one who gave the first toast at our engagement party, the one who'd helped me move into this house. I didn't think much of it. I figured he'd just stop by to talk or drop something off. But the house was silent when I walked in. I set my keys on the kitchen counter and called out, "Vanessa." Nothing. I glanced through the living room, then toward the backyard. That's where I found them. They weren't touching, not quite, but they didn't need to be. The way they sat, knees angled toward each other, leaning in close, sharing smiles that hadn't been meant for me in months. It told me everything I needed to know. Her smile, the one I hadn't seen in weeks, was on full display for him. I didn't say a word. I didn't stomp, slam, or scream. I simply walked back inside, shut the back door softly behind me, and sat at the kitchen counter waiting. 10 minutes later they walked in through the sliding door. Eli froze the second he saw me sitting there. Vanessa blinked, startled, like she couldn't decide if I had just arrived or if I'd seen everything. "Hey," she said carefully, her voice suddenly cautious. "I didn't hear you come in." "Clearly," I replied, voice flat. Eli mumbled something about needing to head out and scrambled for his keys. He left without another word. I turned my eyes back to Vanessa. "Sit down," I said, my voice quiet but firm. She perched at the edge of the couch, her whole body coiled like she was ready to either bolt or break down crying. Her fingers fidgeted with the sleeve of her sweater. "Talk," I said. Her eyes flicked toward the door, as if hoping Eli would come back and rescue her. He wouldn't. He never did well under pressure. Her voice was a shaky whisper. "Adam, it's not what it looks like." I said nothing. I just watched her squirm. "It was a mistake," she said after a long pause. "It only happened once." "When?" asked, my voice steady. She swallowed hard. 2 months ago." "Where?" She hesitated, her face draining of color. "Here," she admitted, barely audible. My voice didn't rise. Stayed cold, controlled. "How long?" She blinked rapidly, like she could will the tears to soften me. "Just a few times," she whispered. It wasn't serious." "It doesn't just sound bad," I said calmly. "It is bad." Her tears came fast and messy after that. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she sobbed. "You were gone and Eli. We were just talking and it got out of hand." "Nothing just gets out of hand, Vanessa," I said, ice in every word. "Keys don't unlock doors on their own. Clothes don't magically come off. You made choices." She sobbed harder. "Please, Adam. Love you. We can get through this." I stared at her for a long moment, then said it, exactly as I'd practiced in my mind during those 10 minutes she was outside. "Thanks for letting me know." Her face twisted in confusion. "That's it?" she asked. "No," I said. "Now pack your things. You're done here." Her mouth dropped open. "Wait, you're kicking me out?" "You cheated on me with my best friend in my house," I said, still calm. "You're not my fiancé anymore. You're a guest. And I'm asking you to leave." She stared at me like I'd ripped the floor out from under her. "You're being insane," she shrieked. "We're engaged. You're really throwing away everything over this." I pointed down the hall. You have 10 minutes. Take what you need for tonight. The rest will be packed and boxed later. Her face darkened. You don't get to talk to me like that. I'm not talking, I said, stepping toward the front door and opening it wide. I'm ending it. Her voice cracked. You can't just erase 5 years over one mistake. You already did, I said, standing in the doorway, unmoving. She didn't believe me. Not until she saw I wasn't bluffing. Her expression twisted from panic to rage as she stomped down the hall, pulling drawers open, slamming cabinets, stuffing clothes into a duffel bag between choking sobs. I didn't follow her. I just stood at the door, letting the cool breeze blow through the house, as if it were carrying the rot out with it. When she finally came back to the front door, she spat. You'll regret this. I looked her dead in the eye and said, No, Vanessa. You will. Then I shut the door and locked it. The house was silent. I sat back down at the kitchen counter and opened my laptop. Months ago, after someone swiped a package off our porch, I installed security cameras. One at the front door and one pointed at the living room. I never turned them off. It took 20 minutes to find the footage I needed. Clear as day. Her on our couch, Eli's hands on her. His lips on her neck. Enough to destroy every lie she could try spinning. I took screenshots. Nothing too graphic, just enough for clarity. Then I started a group message. Wedding update, important. I added her parents, my parents, mutual friends, and Eli's girlfriend, Dana. I uploaded the images. Then I typed. Weddings cancelled. Vanessa's been sleeping with my best friend Eli. In my house. Questions. Ask them. I'm done. Then I hit send. No rants. No yelling. Just truth. After that, I blocked every number that needed blocking. Vanessa, Eli, and anyone else trying to pick sides. The next morning I changed the locks. By sundown, all her belongings sat neatly in bags on the front lawn. She never came for them. 3 days later, her mother found a way to reach me, calling my office, crying about a family emergency. I ignored it. But that night I found emails. One from Vanessa, one from Eli, and one from a random burner account trying to guilt-trip me. Vanessa's email was pathetic, swinging from apologizing to blaming me for humiliating her. I messed up, but you didn't have to ruin my life. You shamed me publicly. My parents hate me now. You shared private images. That's illegal, Adam. I'm speaking to a lawyer. Eli's email was worse. Look, man, it wasn't supposed to happen. We were both in bad places. It just happened. Can we talk? You're overreacting. I still consider you my brother. I didn't even reply. Instead, I forwarded everything to Lauren Pike, my attorney. She was methodical, precise, and merciless. Her advice: stay quiet, stay strategic, and stay ahead. Within 48 hours, Vanessa's lawyer sent a letter demanding half the house's value, emotional damages for the public humiliation, and even part of my work bonus for contributions during our relationship. Lauren shredded their claims. Her response was lethal, pointing out every piece of documented proof. The engagement, the house deed, the footage, the messages. She ended her reply with this line: Should your client escalate this, we will submit all evidence into the public record. The other side went silent. But Vanessa wasn't done. A week later, she launched a GoFundMe called Starting Over After Emotional Abuse. In her twisted version, I was controlling, cold, and abusive. She'd made one mistake during a hard time, and I'd financially abandoned her. She asked for $10,000. In 2 days, she raised nearly $600 from strangers and people we knew. I didn't post a rant. I donated $5, with a comment that included a Dropbox link containing every bit of evidence. Screenshots, footage, timelines, legal letters. I didn't say a word, just facts. Her campaign deleted the comment, but it was too late. I contacted Dana, Eli's now ex-girlfriend, who had stayed quiet during the group message. She answered after 2 rings. Adam. Yeah. After a long pause, she said, Tell me everything. I did. I sent her the Dropbox link. Dana went scorched earth. She posted the folder everywhere. Group chats, social media, private circles. She left no stone unturned. By the third day, Vanessa's GoFundMe was buried in angry comments and refund demands. The campaign was deleted by morning. Her lawyer dropped her within a week. Then it all collapsed. Eli was fired from his job 2 weeks later after Dana sent the folder to his employer. Strict ethics clause. He moved in with his brother 2 towns over. Dana blocked him and vanished. Vanessa ended up living in her cousin's basement. Her old friends abandoned her. No one spoke in her defense. Meanwhile, I sold the house. Too many ghosts. I bought a smaller place downtown. Modern, quiet, clean. No guest rooms. No shared closets. For a while, the quiet was harsh. I'd catch myself expecting to hear her laugh or smell her perfume. But slowly, the quiet stopped hurting. Started feeling like peace. One night, a couple months after everything settled, I ran into her at the grocery store. Hair messy, in baggy clothes, holding microwave dinners. She froze when she saw me. I didn't say a word. I simply turned my cart and walked away. No drama. No revenge. No last words. She wasn't worth it. It's been 6 months. Long enough to heal. Long enough to rebuild. Not into someone new, but into myself again. Recently, while unpacking the last box, I found something. An old house key, bent and worn. I held it for a long time, not as a reminder of pain, but of the boundary I reclaimed. It wasn't about revenge. It was about clarity. I still have that key. Not to remember her, but to remember the lesson. And next time, no one gets a key to my world unless they've earned it, twice.